Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, y'all. It's me, Tamara. Yes, thank you. Studio audience, we got a great episode for y'all. I'm super excited. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And this is actually the season 6 finale episode. So when I can, I try to do big things. And this is what this episode is. I got 3 guests from 2 different shows. All the celebrities, all up on here. Yes.
You gotta relax.
You already know I was coming with that. But yeah, y'all. Everybody, welcome to the show. We got Spence from Views from the Venom Podcast. Yes. We got Ralph and Johnny from Oversaturated the Podcast. Right? Oversaturated, yeah. I'm thinking of your Twitter handle, but my bad. Oversaturated the Podcast. Yeah.
It's too many characters. They wouldn't let us fit the whole joint in there.
I feel it. But fellas, man, thank you for making the time. Me having y'all on, this has been a while in the making. Spence, you've been on. It's been like a year ago. Yeah, it was a minute ago. But you're back. Welcome back.
Shout out. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. But Ralph and Johnny, super duper fan of the show. Y'all know I listen because I tweet at all y'all shows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's appreciated.
My rotation is not as heavy as it used to be because I can't listen like I used to, but I definitely keep y'all in. So I'm glad when I came up with this idea, y'all, these is the 3, like nobody else was going to be on this show. You know what I'm saying? No shade to nobody else, but yeah, so if you didn't pay attention to the episode notes, this is a versus, and we're going to call it versus, and hopefully they don't come at me, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't know anything about me, you should know I'm a Marvel fan over DC, you know what I'm saying?
All 3 of y'all.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Better product, man. Better product.
It really is.
Recently.
That's interesting, but okay.
I remember the first Hulk, man. I remember the Hulks, man.
Which way? There's 2. Which one?
Both of them was.
Oh, he talking about 03. He talking about that one. I know that's what he's talking about.
The very first joint was terrible, but the Incredible Hulk was a great movie. So we're not even gonna do that.
Bane one was trash, and my man from American History X. That one was.
But you know what's wild? What's wild is that DC. As I was doing my research, I mean, like, how many Batmans do we need? Going back to the 60s and 50s, like, the same. You know how many Jokers popped up? You know how many, like, what?
Because that's all you need. That's all you need. How many 007s of the same movie has there been?
I don't know, but we ain't talking about
you ain't got to make no new ones.
I mean, for a universe, though, for a universe, you're going to have one person in the whole in a universe.
See, that's where we fucked up at, though, was trying to... I keep on saying we, that's right.
Because it's literally just you.
Right. That's where DC fucked up at, is trying to be like Marvel and making a universe. And they didn't have to do that.
No, they messed up in their approach to making their universe. They tried to rush to get to the Justice League joint when they should have built each individual story first. That was the issue. They had the great opportunity to do it. They just rushed it. That's all.
But when you try to be somebody you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not gonna work. So, guys, we are going to be talking about Batman versus Spider-Man. And the reason why, in case anybody's wondering, is there is nobody in either camp that like Spider-Man does have a lot of movies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not as many as
out in all of them.
I don't know about that, but not as many as Batman though. Literally going back to, I want to say, the 50s. Like, I had to decide which decade I was gonna choose for the lineup, you know what I'm saying? So we have the pre-show. We're gonna talk about Doctor Strange 2.
Jesus.
I know. I rewatched it yesterday. It was rough.
I was gonna say you rewatched it.
I gotta have my point, and I'm glad I did, because there were things that I forgot that I'm like, okay, I'm glad but I definitely was like on my phone and doing other things, and then I'll look up like, oh yeah, okay, let me, because, I don't know what they were thinking with that, but
that's real.
And then we'll get into the lineup, y'all. So the lineup, okay, so it's gonna be the pre-show. That's Doctor Strange. We got the lineup where it's the Joker, 1989 Joker, because I gotta tell y'all which Batman movie, because there's literally so many of them, and I wanted it to be as close to when the Spider-Man, popped up as possible. So we got the Joker versus the Green Goblin. We got the 1995 Riddler versus Dr. Octopus. And it's literally just based off when the movies came out. And I didn't want to pick more than one villain per matchup. We got Poison Ivy 97 versus Venom.
Get whooped out.
We got the Scarecrow in 05 versus Electro. Yeah. And then we got Bane 2012 versus the Vulture. I was not gonna include Superman versus Batman, because that was just weird. And then I wasn't gonna include Spider-Man No Way Home, because it was literally the same villains just all at once. So
that's fair.
Then we got the grand finale is Batman versus Spider-Man. And the categories for the villains are who had the better origin story. So what was the more valid reason to become a villain? And I'm going to share the origin stories that I found. Who had the better villain powers? And who should the people be more scared of? So that's what it is for the villain. For Batman versus Spider-Man, we are going to, it's kind of similar, but it's who had the better come-up story to become a superhero. So there's that. Who has the better superpowers or weapons, because, and who would win in a battle and why. So again, none of this is going to be based off emotion. I'm going to present the facts, and then so Spence, we know.
Call my guy out.
We know you are Team Batman through and through, to where I felt you were strong enough to go against the three of us. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't need nobody. I also couldn't find anybody else, but you also don't need nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
I feel it.
But first, Doctor Strange 2. Yeah.
Trash. That shit was trash. It took me 4 days to finish it.
Wow.
That's crazy.
You know what? It reminded me of a what's the name? The M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, wow.
one of them joints.
It was like one of those. Like, damn, you know what I mean? I like Nas music, not films. I'm not gonna watch this more than once to get to know. I feel like they wasted Professor Xavier. They wasted an appearance of him. They wasted an appearance of My man's, well, they even made that situation worse, to be honest, because they can't get the Fantastic Four right anyway.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't needed.
I kind of, it's like I'm agreeing with Spence, right? It's crazy. The thing with Doctor Strange, they sacrificed so much of his story arc and storyline to do this other shit that's going to set up other plays for other things. So that's why the movie is just like, huh? Because it's all over the place because we're looking for X-Men and Fantastic Four, which is cool, but we didn't have those films before. Like, let's focus on the Doctor Strange film. So that's why this film is just like as bad as it is.
My biggest issue with this movie should have been WandaVision season 2. The whole motivation for this movie was for Wanda to find her children in other universes. That was the whole premise of this whole movie, which is for a Doctor Strange movie, that was trash. That was trash.
So that leads me to my first point, not to cut you off. But I don't subscribe to the thought process that Marvel has that you have to watch TV shows to understand the movies. I feel like a movie is a movie. That has never been a thing before. Like, I've watched different Marvel movies and you get the little Easter, whatever they call them, the little teaser at the end, and you see what's coming. Maybe, like you said, they did a good building of each character's thing. So then when you brought them together as Avengers, it made sense. And then you see where, oh yeah, I remember this and you were there, but we didn't know who you were. And you know, all that, right? I tried to watch WandaVision and I tried to watch Loki. No, absolutely not. So my kids, they're like, oh, you just gotta, I gotta watch something I don't like for all these episodes for it to finally get good at the end. So I didn't watch all of WandaVision, right? So I'm not understanding how Wanda, who was an Avenger, is suddenly this evil person tricking Doc. Like, what?
But see, you gotta watch the show. Dog, he tripping. Look.
Why I gotta watch a TV show to understand a movie? We didn't have to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I actually liked Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was fire.
Yes. But we didn't have to watch it to understand Marvel.
That was before they knew they wanted to do TV shows like this.
Well, the problem is, right, Marvel came out the gate using characters that we didn't give a fuck about, right? And they didn't have none of the rights to their major stuff. So when they got the major stuff, okay, we can't make movies for everybody, so we gonna start making these shows too. Like, you know, so you could never call Wanda Maximoff Scarlet Witch in a movie for some reason, right? Now all of a sudden we can retcon all the stuff that was going on with her in her show. And then now we get to the film and it's on some other stuff. So that's what is the business that kind of messes up a lot of this stuff. But you know, you can't make I can't make an excuse for what the product is, but the business.
God skipped.
Can we also talk about how they said Doctor Strange started the Illuminati? The Illuminati just all of a sudden in the Marvel movie? Not Hydra or anything we've ever heard of, but the Illuminati.
What a waste, man. They lasted 5 seconds.
That was pointless. Like, it was like just to show you that you know the mutants are here. We get Patrick Stewart from wherever the fuck he was at, and you know, just to knock him out like that, like that's crazy. And they done fan casted Mr. Fantastic, you know, for about the past 3 years. You finally see him in the suit. You knock him out. Like, that's insane. That's insane.
And
I was so excited. I was so excited for the Illuminati. Like, anybody that listens to Oversaturated, like, I predicted it. I was so excited because that's like a major arc in like the Marvel comics. So to actually see them on screen was like, okay, this is dope. But then for them to die, I was like, in an already bad movie, to see the one thing I really wanted to see gone is like, that's crazy. That wasn't even the real Wanda. She was controlling another Wanda from another universe. Like, y'all got killed. Come on, man.
And the sister got blasted. That was racist.
Nah, the way boy, she said what
Damn.
mouth, and that
Killed himself.
was that was
nuts.
Took him out. That was
Yeah,
crazy.
Jesus Christ.
that was hard to
Oh,
watch. The Professor X cameo, and even all of that, in my opinion, okay, you were excited about the Illuminati, and I've never said I'm like a super duper comic person. I've been more the movies, Spider-Man a little bit because my cousin was just he loves Spider-Man, so a little bit, but okay. But we've seen different, like I know X-Men is a part of Marvel. Like I understand all of these other people are like a part of it, but it just wasn't a good introduction of them suddenly. Like, where did y'all come from? Because in no other Avengers, Doctor Strange, like any other movie, have they ever been a part of it. And Professor X just gonna roll in like that's what we expect. And then the way he got killed was stupid. Like, how do you fall for that?
Or maybe Marvel fans need to just
Come on now,
come to
watch
the
out.
realization. No, maybe y'all need to come to the realization that the multiverse ain't hitting like y'all thought it was.
Only
Mm.
because it's in. Listen, I'm
Yeah.
caping. I'm caping. So it's only because we in the early stages of this. Marvel has not. The MCU has not put out as much content as they have in Phase 4, and they're trying to get their footing on how to actually release all of this stuff. Along with the movies, we have 4 or 5 different TV shows as well. So I think they're still trying to figure out how to incorporate everything together because they were only used to just the movies. So
Ain't nothing hidden, bro. Nothing, bro. Ain't nothing hidden.
The whole phase been kind of.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm the most impartial person here. Like I'll be honest. Like the Phase 4 just been kind of.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Can we also talk about Zombie Strange possessing the dead?
Well, that comes from a show that you probably didn't watch.
Yeah, probably didn't.
That was a concept that they introduced in What If. A lot of the stuff that we saw in Doctor Strange, like Multiverse of Madness, a lot of that came from the animated show What If. So you start to see these concepts introduced, and then they put it literally in the next movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, hey, yo, that's kind of wild, but
yeah. From part 1 to part 2, I think that's where if this would have been maybe a third movie where like I can't remember who said it, we got more of his story, because I remember where Doctor Strange 1 left off. So to go from that, first of all, who is America anyway? There's also that. But okay, I'll accept that. You know what I'm saying? I'll accept her because you're introducing somebody new. But
it was weird how
the way they added all, and now he got this third eye, huh? He just.
But they explained in the movie, once you work with the dark code, it opens your third eye permanently.
So why Wanda? So I saw a meme. Oh gosh, I love the internet, Facebook. That's where the good memes come from. Now people talk about Facebook. That's where I always see the most hilarious memes. And it said, Wanda had the Darkhold for like however long, and all she got was a makeover. Strange had it for like 2 minutes, and he got a third eye, little weak ass bitch.
That is a very good observation. I got nothing.
Yep. So, okay, guys. Well, Doctor Strange was trash. It was.
Hey man, look, Marvel ain't been hidden since Loki came out.
You're getting a little too happy.
Loki came out the closet, man, and Marvel ain't been hidden ever since.
Hey,
everything been trash.
Hey,
everything been trash ever since, bro.
Spence teasing too much. Let's get to the next topic.
Yeah, you're a little too happy.
Hey,
all right,
Black Panther coming, baby.
Skip.
All right, so let's get into the lineup. Okay, so round 1, we got The Joker versus Green Goblin. The origin stories is actually pretty fascinating because like I watched the movie, but then to like read even with the comic books and all that, because I kind of meshed it all together. So the interesting thing about the Joker is he actually has a few origin stories, which makes sense when there's been so many dang Batman movies. You kind of, the way the articles that I saw is that it's kind of like whoever was creating the movie, it's what they felt like could have happened, but nothing was really solidified like this is it. But the ones that I saw that I'm going to share is that one is that he's a mentally ill, impoverished party clown and stand-up comedian disregarded by society, whose history of abuse causes him to become a nihilistic criminal with a clown motif. So that was,
that was the last movie.
That was very specific. No, actually, the last movie said that he has a congenital disease where he can't stop smiling and has been forced to smile his entire life.
Yeah, but
that's from the Joker, like the one that, or Joker, the one that the movie came out about Arthur Fleck.
The Loan.
Okay.
The Loan film.
Okay, so maybe all right, and then another thing I saw is that he fell into a vat of acid while attempting to escape from Batman. And then when he emerged, he was green hair, white skin, unnerving, pomegranate. That was the first one I saw, but I just thought the other ones were interesting. So let's get into superpowers, that's a very loose term that we have to use when discussing some of these people, because he actually has no superhuman abilities, instead using his expertise in chemical engineering to develop poisonous or lethal concoctions and weaponry. He used a razor tip playing cards, deadly joy buzzers, and acid spraying lapel flowers. So I think one thing we're going to have to define at some point in this conversation is, how do you really define a superhero or a supervillain? Is it superpowers? Is it whatever? But we ain't got to go there yet. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into the Green Goblin. Dr. Norman Virgil Osborn was a scientist and the CEO of Oscorp. Imagine being a don't. So he experimented with an incomplete enhancement serum and then got the whole alternate identity, the Green Goblin. Now with the Green Goblin in control, he fought Spider-Man, then he died. Now his abilities is superhuman strength. So he's able to lift 9 tons, which that's a lot. Speed, reflexes, endurance, and healing, and he can regenerate damaged tissue and organs. So, based on those two origin stories, who do you think had the better reason to become a villain? So we'll start there.
I'll go with Joker. Like you talking about a rich guy that just, rich doctor. Like he just, woe is me. Now I'm now I want to kill people. No, down there at the bottom, so he had more reason, rationale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going Joker too. Green Goblin, like he really is just a product of like a bad accident, like experiment going wrong. Like
nerd.
Real talk. And the 89 Joker was already a psychopath before he even came Joker and a mobster and all that. So with him falling into the acid and actually like his skin changing and becoming the Joker that we know, like it was just easy for him to fall into it because he was already like that. So it was just more incentive for him to just be out with his psychopathness.
Yeah, I definitely think for a reason, the Green Goblin, that's your fault. Like, you shouldn't have been experimenting on yourself. How you gonna get mad because you messed up and now you want to be a bad guy? Like, because even the fact that it said the Joker was running from from Batman when that happened. Okay, then that makes sense why you coming for Batman, like because it's like this vengeance type thing. But the Green Goblin, like, what are you doing? So I feel like you had no reason to be on that. You should have just kept doing. I mean, experiment on somebody else. What they say, never get high on your own supply. Like, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, those are my thoughts. Now you can't just say nerd, Spence.
No, I feel like most Marvel villains are nerds that just came up. Like the Joker was really with that. He was really an OG. He just got unlucky. But
right.
I mean, shit.
So who had the better superpowers then?
Oh, Green Goblin.
That's the Green Goblin. You know what I mean? He Tony Hawk on shrooms.
I fail.
All right. And so then who do you think the people should be more scared of?
Joker.
The Joker, absolutely.
Joker. He had I was going to quote the Heath Ledger Joker, but it's just really he's a psychopath. He really has no rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna lean toward Green Goblin.
What?
And I'm trying like
Make your point.
I'm trying.
All right, yeah. What's your rationale?
Joker is literally a psychopath. We know he'll walk up on you and just pop you right. Cool. I got you. Understood.
Yeah.
But like if you see the Joker walking up on you, like you're gonna run or shoot him back. Like you're not just gonna stand there and watch him shoot you. Green Goblin, he has super strength. He has his Tony Hawk glider, as Spence put it. Like he can actually he can get to you quick. He has superhuman strength. He can probably run fast. I've never seen him run, but I'm sure he can run fast. It's easier for him to kill you. Even if you run away from him. You could probably trip Joker and run away from him for real. So I'm probably gonna go with if I saw Green Goblin knowing that he has superhuman strength and stuff, I'm gonna be a little bit more scared of Green Goblin. You can dodge Joker's lapel.
So okay, but what about this thought? Because I feel like the Joker would be more stealthy. Green Goblin always like he was all loud, so you're gonna know he's coming and you're gonna run. The Joker, I feel like will be more stealthy.
I disagree. Green Goblin and Joker both have a similar laugh. Joker gonna let you know he coming because he that chaotic. Joker don't care because he's that chaotic. Joker is gonna let you know Joker loves the show. He loves all of it. So,
okay, all right.
I say this Joker had more goons in the tuck though. Like I don't think nobody messed with Green Goblin.
The mafia.
Yeah, like people.
Green Goblin didn't need him. He didn't need him
because he was only going after one person. The Joker just wanted to create chaos. Anybody could get it.
So then that's the thing, because only Spider-Man should be scared of the Green Goblin, but we should be scared of the Joker because he's coming for all of us. I feel like we'd be safe if.
I know what you're saying. But if you get in your car from the grocery store and you see Green Goblin flying above your head, you gonna get in your car a little bit faster. I know that for sure. I know that for sure. So, nah. Yeah,
okay. I mean, I'll give you that. All right. So, people, y'all let us know y'all thoughts because I don't think it's gonna be like we all agree on these. So this is there's not really gonna be winners. This is just discussion, I guess, because I already see how this is going. So 95 Riddler and Dr. Octopus. So the Riddler's compulsion stems from parental abuse that he endured as a child. After he got high scores on some important tests in school, his father, unable to grasp the fact that his son was that smart and thought he cheated, beat him, which is wild. So then no superhuman abilities, but is a highly cunning criminal strategist. All right.
Sounds like a nerd, Spence.
Yeah.
Super nerd.
All right. So, but Dr. Octopus, on the other hand, he's an experiment that was what? Passioned by scientist Dr. Otto Octavius, it becomes unstable, makes artificial intelligent mechanical tentacles, and then he becomes a powerful supervillain that becomes possessed by his own creation again. And then his abilities is superhuman strength. So each tentacle has the ability to lift cars, rip metal. It could be up to 4.5 feet long, and they can extend, or they are 4.5 feet. They can extend up to 13 feet long, and I think that's it. Yeah. So, better origin story.
Riddler. Like Riddler, I'll take the Riddler in this one for me. Like, we just sitting on Dr. Norman Osborn for being a doctor and experimenting on himself, and then same shit happened to him. So, Riddler.
Yeah. I mean, getting beat by your parents, that's enough for being smart. Like, I feel like that's enough to be like, F the world.
That's Gotham City for you, though.
Yep. You either don't have parents or you getting abused by your parents. There's no in between.
Right.
Nobody has good parents or none of that.
Right. No, I think I'm rolling with the Riddler too. Actually, better origin story.
Okay. I kind of figured we'd be on because what? All right. Better powers.
All right, fam.
You know what?
I'm definitely going Doc Ock.
Ooh.
You were gonna say the Riddler?
I was gonna say the Riddler.
What powers? Tell me what the powers are.
He a city girl. He a scammer.
You annoying.
He a scammer. He a scammer. He a scammer. He would drain Doc Ock's bank account, and he wouldn't have no money to do nothing.
No.
Give me all that, and I'm taking over the machines, your arms and shit.
With a riddle, some shit I could Google, I'm cool.
Right.
Man, he's a super nerd.
I'm cool.
Scammer.
So was Google. Shit, and TikTok too now. I Google and TikTok all that shit.
You learn a lot on TikTok.
Big facts.
Man,
I just think, and then on the last Spider-Man, like, you see, it was just so easy to take over his shit. It really wasn't hard to take over his shit, man. He gave up after that.
different level of technology
guy.
in different universes.
Yeah, we talking the Riddler going against him, who ain't even about all that.
Yeah, the Jim Carrey Riddler wasn't good with computers,
smart.
but he was smart as hell though.
So who should the people be scared of?
Riddler. Even after all that, I'll still say they should be scared of Riddler. He was crazy.
I disagree, my boy.
I gotta say Dr. Octopus.
I'm scared of psychopaths. I don't care about a nigga. That means nothing to me. Oh, okay.
One thing I get of Riddler is like he was like the first like Jigsaw. Y'all remember the Saucy?
Yeah.
He was like the first Jigsaw, but on a lower level.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still
way lower.
Oh, that team Jigsaw.
Jigsaw was just a man. He would do some wild stuff that I would never want to be a part of. Riddler, I mean, I feel like I'd rather deal with the Riddler than Jigsaw for sure.
I agree.
Because you just wake up not knowing what's going on, and he'd be like, "Want to play a game?" And then you either got to chop your leg off or chop the other person's arm off, and it's like, how do you decide what you gonna do? So yeah. All right, next up, and this is an interesting matchup because we got Poison Ivy and Venom. I just feel like out of all these matchups, this is actually a really good matchup, and it kind of just, So, what is happening, Spence?
No, we just the matchup.
I'm
gonna sing it. I want you to sing
it. It was literally just based on when it came out.
Ooh.
I forgot all about the Venom from Spider-Man 3. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Right.
All right, so we got Poison Ivy's origin story is that she was seduced by some dude. So there were like a couple of not different ones, but like kinda. So it said she was seduced by somebody and tricked into getting her to steal some ancient artifacts, and then he didn't want her to tell on him, so he tried to poison her with these herbs, but she didn't die. So that's how she became Poison Ivy. So then after she survives her murder, then her boyfriend has some other dude, I'm assuming it ain't the same dude, has a car accident, and then she drops out of school because she was a biochemist. I noticed all of Batman's people be super smart too, so I don't even know what you talking about. Marvel is some nerds, right? They be like scientists and physicists and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so then but then they decide to be a criminal. Like, what? So that's her, so that she can show her power over men. I like that. So then her superpowers are, but hey, I see why though, because she got tricked. So but she has toxins in her bloodstream that make her touch deadly and allow her to be immune to all poisons, viruses, bacteria, and fungi. So she ain't got to worry about Rona. She ain't got to worry about monkeypox. None of that. She also has charm and can put people under her influence, which makes her able to have some sort of mind control in a sense. And she can also possess plants to make them do what she wants. So there's her. Venom is really interesting because we know there was a point when Spider-Man kind of had whatever, but that's not the one I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Eddie Brock or whatever. So Venom's origins can be traced to, I think it's symbiotes, whatever.
Yeah.
There you go. From planet Clintar, they pick a hose, take over its body, and all that, not good stuff, but all that stuff. And then they're highly vulnerable to sound, which is kind of how it didn't work with Spider-Man, I'm guessing is what I think that said. As far as powers for Venom, the ability to heal its host, shape-shifting powers, the ability to create weapons out of nothing, heightened sensory perception, and the ability to reproduce itself. So, out of those origin stories, who do you feel has the better origin story?
Venom,
the better reason to be a villain, not the better reason to be a villain.
I'll say Ivy.
Yeah. This is kind of tough, but I think I'm leaning toward Poison Ivy. Venom is a symbiote from outer space, right? But it needs a host to thrive. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If he don't find a human, just trap him in a glass or something, and that's it. We cool. Poison Ivy, her shit is, it's within. So
she got jaded by men. So she
that part. Definitely a woman scorn. You know what I'm saying?
She on people.
How you gonna win if you ain't right within?
Oh my god! Well, she ain't right. She got poison in her.
She got one of the worst storylines ever to me. There was a reason she was in the worst Batman ever.
Wow.
And ain't been brought up since.
Pretty much. They ain't thought about they done made 87 Catwomen since then. They don't care about Poison Ivy.
I actually forgot about her until I started doing the lineup, and I didn't want to do Catwoman. I wanted to do different people. So I was like, oh yeah, she was. Yep, I remember that. Okay. Yep, we're gonna talk about her. Let her get her flowers while she's here.
That movie had a lot of stars and it was terrible.
Terrible.
Uma Thurman is a villain and it's still trash. Arnold
that's
Schwarzenegger in the 90s, trash.
As bad as that movie was, it still has a place in my heart. I still watch. I would still watch it. Real talk.
You said that's your I guess
Batman.
your girl, and you gonna stand beside her.
Nah, that's real. That's real.
I mean, it had R. Kelly on the soundtrack. Hey man, it was a classic.
I didn't bring it up. He did. I didn't bring it up.
Okay, so we're gonna move on. Who do you think has the better powers? This is why I say this is a good matchup, because it just depends on how you want to spin this one. I don't think this, in my opinion, this one isn't like as cut and dry.
No, it's not.
I agree.
See, I know what I'm doing.
I live in Vegas, so I've seen a lot of Poison Ivy. So I'm gonna say Venom.
Come on, man.
Yeah, shit. You get around a cold prostitute, they'll do the same thing to you.
You know what?
Hey, I was gonna say Venom before that, but I was gonna say Venom. Just off the fact he's an alien, like that's some other shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever he do, it's just some other stuff. So that's how I feel.
I'm really thinking about like when the symbiote gets a host, the types of powers that the host gets. They can regenerate. They get superhuman strength. They can swing webs like Spider-Man. Like,
Isn't that because of Spider-Man that they got that though?
I mean, it enhanced Spider-Man's abilities, but like Eddie Brock, he's able to do the same thing, even though Eddie Brock didn't have Spider-Man powers.
So I guess my question then is, like, let's say, because we know it was in Spider-Man first and then moved. So did it take like what it got from Spider-Man with it, or did it already have that? That's my question.
It just it'll enhance whatever the host has.
Okay,
that's pretty much it. Damn, I don't know.
If that's okay, then I'm actually gonna change my answer.
I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me hear your answer, because I don't know. Like, can we say it's a tie? Because I don't know.
Well,
Venom gonna beat the dog shit out of that woman.
No. So as far as
do that mind control, I don't know.
As far as better powers, originally I had Venom until you just made a good point, because it only enhances whatever the person has. So I can't, if it took over me, I can't do none of what none of them is doing. So I don't really know what it will be doing.
I mean,
you know
it'll still give you like super strength and all that, like,
and that's cool.
Yeah, but
she got
Ivy,
deadly touch, and
what is that gonna do to an alien though?
Like, we don't know how.
We don't know. It's deadly touch, but also she can make plants do what she wants. So I feel like it's so many plants, trees. I'm thinking though of like Venus flytraps. Is that the one? Yeah, I'm thinking of like the more, or Poison Ivy. Like, she can control, and she can have the grass doing all kinds of stuff. Tree bust you upside the head. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just feel like, because she has her own powers that are unique to her, I personally think she actually has the better powers.
It's Ike and Tina Turner in the studio,
man. That's crazy.
Hey, yo.
I think I'll lean toward Poison Ivy too. Like, she's like the earthy version of like Storm. Like, Storm can control the weather. Poison Ivy can control the earth, and even on top of that, she has the toxins in her body where she can do mind control and poison people and all that. So I think I'm gonna rock with Poison Ivy on that.
That's great.
All right, so then who should the people fear?
Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
because she's real.
She's a woman scorn. Move out of the way.
There's that. You know what I'm saying? But then there's also the mind control piece.
Yeah,
and that's the part where it's like, yeah. So, all right, okay. Scarecrow and Electro, which is a very interesting matchup, but it's just based on the years, y'all. Because I don't think I would have. Let's get into the Scarecrow. Go ahead.
Oh no.
And I give you all my answers now because
The people don't deserve no kind of
Listen.
information. Just forget them, huh?
get Electro.
What a scarecrow,
out
the
of here.
scarecrow in the Batman animated series is hard.
So
Yeah.
let's
gotta
get
give-
into
I gotta
the
give you that
Scarecrow. He was abandoned by his parents to be raised by his super religious grandmother, bullied in high school, became a professor of psychology who turned to crime after he was very obsessed with fear, obviously.
Mhm.
Kirk Franklin song.
The views expressed by I should have said this at the beginning. The views expressed by Spence, we'll even say Johnnie and Ralph just in case, are not those of Tamara Dawn, the Tamara to the Break of Dawn show, Tamara the Dawn Inc., Melon Intoxicate, and Entrepreneurship to the Break of Dawn, my new podcast. We ain't got nothing to do with that. Nah.
We had to get the same disclaimer on our show.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking, and I know who I brought on here, and that's my fault. I might have to. Anyways, yeah. So he fired a gun in a classroom full of students, got fired, and then became a criminal. He is a master strategist and manipulator. His genius labels him as one of the most cunning criminal masterminds. He's even known to have a frightening ability to tamper with anyone's mind with just words. He's a skilled martial artist who uses his long arms. I'm sorry, when they were describing how lanky he was. But anyways, his long arms and legs, in the style is known as violent dancing. Okay. So then there's Electro. You know what I'm saying?
You said Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. So he's a former electrical engineer at Oscorp. You know, a lot of the people that worked at Oscorp, like, I don't know what kind of psychological testing they should have been doing, but they employees almost all became villains. Not all of the employees, but all the villains came from there. He had idolized Spider-Man, but was transformed into an extremely powerful living electric capacitor after a freak accident, growing power-hungry and obsessed with defeating and killing his idol, which is wild. We know why, but still. His abilities are electrokinesis, electrokinesis, flight, high intelligence, superhuman strength, and speed. Out of those stories, who had the better reason to become a villain?
Scarecrow.
Absolutely.
Get Electro. The F out of here. I hate that version of Electro. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, they had Jamie Foxx playing my man.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely Scarecrow.
I love Jamie, but not that role. Man.
No, that was probably the only role that I was like, oh, what are you doing? And I usually love everything he does, but even when he became a singer, I was like, what? I like that album. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, yep.
Yeah, he got one.
Yep. Yeah, that first one. I don't know what else he did. But, yeah, no, the first one. That one.
The second one, man.
No. We talking about the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's why I said back in the day that one, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, better powers.
Electro, technically. Like, niggas shoot electric, he can fly. Like, he's smart. Like, can't do nothing with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even want to see it.
It's like, it pains Johnny.
I don't even want to see it. Electro.
Because there's nothing that I could say the Scarecrow.
His that fear toxin is kind of hard. Like, for him to be able to create the fear toxin, I think that's dope, but that it pales in comparison to Electro's powers.
Yeah,
So who should the people fear though?
Scarecrow.
Scarecrow, that's a school shooter right there.
Oh,
Bro, that's literally his origin story.
No, that was part of the description. No,
Oh, was it? I wish. I didn't mean to laugh. I might.
Oh my God.
What?
Bro,
Why, Spence? Why?
That's a part of his origin story. It don't get no worse than that.
I mean, you make a
Son of
point, but
I mean,
very valid. Very valid.
it's too soon. It's too soon.
It's always too soon.
It's still too right.
What?
This is yeah, man.
But no, I think that's accurate though. Like a school shooter that grows up to like create fear toxins, he ain't really scared of nothing. So yeah, no, I think I'm rolling.
Yeah.
He is
Yeah.
a religious school shooter that makes
Spence,
fear toxins.
why are
What
you
is
like
worse
this?
than that?
Why are you like
I mean,
not a religious
Points
school
were made.
shooter?
That-
He's not religious. His grandma was.
I mean,
that mean he would. That mean he is.
he is.
That
If Granny put that on you, yeah, that's different.
Everybody who was raised in the church is out here living for the Lord.
No.
Right. Clearly he's not. But nah, yeah, I had him. That the fear, but also the fact that he could mess with people's minds. I think that is one of the like Electro. Yeah, he could electrocute him, but I feel like Scarecrow could probably be somewhere else and like do something and not even gotta be right there. So
all he gotta do is hit Electro with that fear toxin. It's over.
right.
It's over with.
All right.
Hit him with that.
Mm-mm. So we come into the end of the villains, y'all. We got Bane
Mm-hmm.
and the Vulture. Again, this is literally just because I don't think I would have, but Bane's origin story is that his mom was pregnant with him and his dad escaped from jail. And I don't know. Is this legal? Like talking about when your son is born, your son has to serve your time. So he was raised in jail.
Damn.
Yeah, I didn't know. I knew he was raised in jail, but I didn't know why. So that's why. And then he was, as an adult, still in jail. He served as a test subject for the super steroid Venom. And then he escaped and headed to Gotham City, where he chose to make his mark by defeating the Batman. So that was like his targets. His powers are superhuman levels, mainly his strength, durability, speed, and endurance. And he's also extremely intelligent and says that he is one of Batman's most intelligent foes. So that is Bane. Let's get into the Vulture. So he is a former electronic engineer. Surprisingly, he didn't work at Oscorp, but he was once Gregory Bestman's business partner. Then he found out he was embezzling money, and he was working on some harness flight thing. And when he came to tell him about it, that's when he found out, oh, he's embezzling the money. So then he burned the business down and decided to turn to crime. Nobody thought about getting different jobs or anything else. With all the education that these people have, it's I'ma just be a criminal, just like that.
Yeah.
So his powers, when he's wearing his electromagnetic harness, is that he has superhuman strength, vitality, and athletic prowess. He's resistant to injury, and his physical strength is increased to the point where he can lift about 700 pounds. So, who has the better? I mean, is there really a question? Do I even need to finish that?
Nope.
Okay, so we know Bane. How how do you have to serve out your daddy's prison sentence? That is wild. Like that made me sad actually. Because what?
That's Gotham City for you. Like that's nuts. No other place in comic book history will something like that take place. That's crazy.
DC for you, boy. Let me tell you.
We gonna act like Wakanda was the shit, like they were doing fucked up shit over there.
Wow. That is not comparable at all.
This is wild.
All right, so better powers.
I just like Bane overall.
I feel like
the better hands. He got the better hands. He got the better intellect. He don't really got no weaknesses.
I feel like we didn't even talk about his intellect like that. Yeah.
See, what version are we talking about? The movie version of Bane? Like
we're not talking about the 90s one. We're not talking about the 90s one.
That's what I'm saying. We're talking about Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Bane, right?
Was Bane
or the comic book one too?
No, we talking about the 2012 movie
because the way that the Venom interacts with them is different. So
I'll still say Bane.
Well, while you think about it, because your wheels turning, I'll say Bane simply because can we really say that electromagnetic harness is a superpower? Because if he takes it off.
But I didn't hear what he said. I'm kind of happy.
Yeah, be glad.
He got a hard corset.
Hey. And if that's what we talking about, Bane got bondage on. If that's what we're really doing.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, and if my kids happen to be listening to this,
oh yeah, my bad.
The view they're all adults. I'm just if my mama listen, don't listen to this episode. As a matter of fact,
comparisons bondage. Bondage is a wild term. Like I just want to throw that
50 Shades of Bane. That's what you said it was.
Real talk.
I'm picturing his mask now. I can't get that shit out of my head.
That's what
He's got that ball stuck in his mouth.
This is getting real.
Wow.
That's the
Johnny. Who's powers?
I'm thinking Vulture. Honestly, I'm thinking Vulture. I feel like it'll be easy. Like if you talk about the comic version of Bane, all you gotta do is knock the tubes where the Venom comes in and it's over with. Or if we talk about the movie version, all you gotta do is take his mask off. So I don't know. I think I'm leaning toward a Vulture.
Okay. So then who should the people be scared of?
Bane.
After all that.
Yeah, no, for real.
Bane.
Definitely.
I mean, because if you don't knock none of that stuff off and he get the Venom going, it's over with. Like it's over with.
And I think too, because Bane, after everything he had been through, when you have somebody who's trying to make a name for themselves, I think about people who, are school shooters, or you know what I'm saying, like those people, like they want to be remembered for that. So I feel like he would do anything to make a name for himself. Whereas Vulture, he lost out on his money and he was mad, but I don't think he's psychotic enough to where everybody.
Vulture was just
got an electric corset on. That's nuts enough.
That man is out here trying to feed his family. That's all he's trying to do.
All right, so that has closed out the villain round. Okay, so now we get to the main event.
God damn
Based
it.
on facts, not emotion.
Let's
Spence.
go. Let's go. I'm here for it.
All right, so Batman's origin story and whatnot. We'll start with that. So, remind y'all the questions for the superheroes is who had the better come up story. So not so much origin story, but like them becoming a superhero. Which way do you feel was better? So Batman, after witnessing the murder of his parents, he swore vengeance against criminals, and he trains himself physically and intellectually and crafts a bat-inspired persona to fight crime. Unlike most superheroes, and I'm just quoting what was on the internet, in my research, but unlike most superheroes, Batman does not possess any superpowers, instead relying on his intellect and scientific knowledge, fighting skills, detective skills, and wealth. They say money does not make you happy, but it works for Batman. Moving on to Spider-Man.
Your bias is showing.
So, but no, this was actually really difficult once we get to like who would win. That was actually more difficult than I thought it would be. The interesting thing about Spider-Man is there actually technically, and y'all may know this, but the people probably don't know this, and I didn't know this. There are actually 3 origin stories, but they all work together. So we all know he got bit by the spider, so that's a given. There's 2 other stories. One is that some spider totems, so some godlike avatars, chose him, and the spider bite just triggered the transformation. So I thought
we're gonna act like that one don't exist.
Oh wait.
Oh my God.
but there's
Spider
more.
God, that's crazy.
Yes. I was kind of like, okay, I had to bring it to y'all. All right, another is that him and the Thing from Fantastic Four were summoned by 2 cosmic beings, Lord Chaos and Master Order, to help defeat Thanos. And the interesting thing is that, and this is not defeat Thanos in Avengers, like back when he was trying to do some lady something.
Lady
that
Death, probably.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't write that part down. But the interesting thing is that all 3 stories work together, because the way they said it is that Chaos and Order steered Peter into a place of cosmic significance, which got him noticed by the spider totem as the perfect embodiment, which then prompted the scientific experiment that made the spider do all that stuff. So it's not like they're mutually exclusive. It's like they all kind of go together.
I see why they picked that one for the film.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's a lot going on. That's a lot.
But once you watch the new Thor, you will see that there's literally a god for everything in the MCU. So you will see.
We'll get to that movie at some point. All right, so superhuman strength, superhuman speed, everything is superhuman because he has powers. Superhuman reflexes, superhuman durability. I'm just quoting it the way they wrote it. You know what I'm saying? Healing factor, spider sense alert, heightened senses, and wall crawling for a little razzle dazzle. You know what I'm saying?
With little razzle dazzle, I love it.
Little razzle dazzle.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
All right, so the better come up story.
It's fucking Batman, bro. It's the best storyline in the fucking comic book history. And they ain't no spider gods, none of that shit.
Nah,
it's Batman, bro.
Now you said it. You said you had a Freudian slip right there. It's Spider-Man, bro. Like, come on, man. Got bit. Like he's a kid, a poor kid. Wasn't he like a poor Jewish kid? Ain't that it?
Yes, sir.
You're talking about a rich.
It said actually poor, sickly. To make it even that much.
So look at it like this, bitch. That spider bite saved his life.
Fact. He was getting bullied in school. He was getting bullied in school and all that.
Everybody changed his life.
And
Batman's parents got smoked in his face.
But look,
They blew
Spider-Man. Listen,
they blew the motherfucking parents' face off in front of you, nigga.
I hear what you're saying. But check this out. Spider-Man had the opportunity to stop his uncle's killer, but he didn't know that. Had he stopped his uncle's killer, his uncle would have lived, and he learned that after the fact. That's great. That's great writing right there, baby.
Wow, you're the true superhero. You would have jumped in, or you'd have knew that already.
He had just got bit. Like, how you supposed to know? He was a kid.
His uncle.
He was a high school kid, my boy.
His uncle got murdered when he had after the bite. Why his senses ain't tell him that?
He wasn't near him. What you mean?
You know what? Okay.
He wasn't near him. How does Spider sense gonna work and he ain't near him?
Because his senses was like, you pussy.
Nah. You saying that to a teenage kid that was just getting bullied a week earlier?
He get the tingling for everything else.
No,
All right, so here's my take on this. And this is why it was difficult. It depends on how what you focus on for the come up. So if you focus on the reason why he became a superhero, then yeah, Batman, because he chose that vengeance and all that. But the method is definitely Spider-Man, because I'm gonna go train myself and I'm gonna use my money to make some stuff. Nah, that's weak. You know what I'm saying?
If Batman ain't had the money, he wouldn't have become Batman.
You know what I'm saying?
How was he gonna pay to go train overseas with the best martial artists in the world if he ain't had the money?
Exactly.
We gonna act like Spider-Man ain't have a billionaire on his side.
Fam,
that was after
that's
he
the
was already
that wasn't
Spider-Man.
even a thing in the actual comic. We ain't doing that.
Nah, the method. Let me get I got bit by a mosquito and I ain't never been able to fly. Ain't nothing ever happened good for me. So yeah, the method. So it depends on how you look at it. So who has the better? Now this is where I think actually at the end we'll go into that. Who has the better superpowers?
Spider-Man.
Or weapons?
Batman's shit is way superior. Come on, dude. Everybody was doing a.
What is that?
You know
is that Spider-Man shooting the web out? What is that?
That's what I'm saying. He got a bit. Batman got a build that. Spider-Man that shit come automatically, my boy.
Now I'm gonna say this. Tamara asked 2 questions. She said, "Who has better powers than who has better gadgets?" Now we talking about gadgets. Is Batman?
Still disagree.
I'm like, we talking about. Do we count like all the Bat stuff as gadgets? Like the Batmobile, Batwing,
when the 89, when
the
89 Batman came out, y'all wasn't doing the. Y'all wasn't doing that shit. Come on, dog.
Well, I was one.
Hold on,
you said you were one.
Spence, do that sound again.
Go. Y'all wasn't doing that shit.
Vince, were you alive then?
I was one. I seen it later.
Because I'm like, I know I was 9 then, but y'all are younger than me.
Man,
okay, well, we sticking strictly to the movies, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we sticking to the movies, I'm gonna go Batman. If we stick into the movies,
that's why she said gadgets. I was like, gadgets. We talking about Batman? All right, cool, gadgets.
But I will say in the comic books, Spider-Man did have way better gadgets. He had a car and all that shit too. So
yeah.
But if we stick into the movies,
I ain't never seen that in none of the movies.
I'm going Batman.
Yeah. I'm going Spider-Man for powers though, because I mean,
100%.
Batman. What?
What I was saying.
Yeah. All right. So now is the moment of truth. Who would win in a battle and why?
There is nobody in the history of comic books that hasn't been whooped out more than Spider-Man.
Daredevil.
He's stay getting beat up. Oh yeah. Spider-Man literally, he stay getting beat up until the last 5 minutes of every movie. Hands, Batman whooping him out.
I think Batman does win. It's just the Like y'all say he got the big brain and all that. I didn't beat Superman in the fight.
I'm going Spider-Man. I'm gonna tell y'all why.
Okay.
He lost to Mysterio with
Shut up.
cameras.
Listen. Batman is the better tactician when it comes to pre-planning. Bar none, hands down. Spider-Man is the better tactician during a fight. So Batman can do all the pre-planning he wants to do and have XYZ, plan A, plan B, plan C. But during a fight, I feel like Spider-Man during a fight will be able to counteract all of Batman's plans, therefore winning. And he has the attribute of superhuman strength on his side. Like,
see, and that's
okay, Johnny. Let me ask you one question. Then.
What's up?
Not counting the comic books.
Yes, sir.
Because we've been talking about the movies majority of the time.
Yes, sir.
How many fights has Spider-Man won one-on-one? By himself, no help. I'll wait.
Wait, didn't he beat Venom, Sandman, and who was the other villain in Spider-Man 3? I can't. It was three villains. I can't remember. It was Venom, Sandman. It was somebody else.
And Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin. Yeah, he beat all three of them by himself. So what we talking
I
about?
don't remember that.
That's fine. That's fine. But
so,
here, yeah.
So for me, why this was difficult, because I wanted to say Batman just because, I mean, the whole pre-planning and all that, but the fact that Spider-Man actually has powers and could use his powers to disable Batman's toys, then what does Batman have? What does he have if he does, because he doesn't have any superpowers.
He still got these.
He does, but he has to be up close to Spider-Man in order to use that.
And he's also getting old. He's old.
He got grown man strength.
And that don't matter when Spider-Man on top of Sears Tower. Like, that shit don't matter.
And
because
he actually has superpowers.
Get up there too. What you mean, Batman? Get up there too.
Because most of these superheroes are using their powers, like the same boxing that we watching.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, if Batman and him was really banging, Batman's gonna beat him up.
False, because Spider-Man is stronger.
Oh,
Batman can punch Spider-Man, but they ain't gonna do shit.
He does have super. So Spider-Man.
But if you give Batman time, he will get something to combat it. He did the same thing with Superman.
So what are you gonna say? Hold on.
He pre-planned that.
Let me go get some.
Right. Wait, time out. I'm tired of fighting. Time out.
Yeah, round one.
That ain't gonna happen. No.
What is this, Troy? Oh, let us go be with our women, and we'll be back in the morning.
That's a good reference there, Troy.
Batman, he's not going in no fight blind. He only did that one time, and he got
that's
out.
That's okay. No, I hear you, and yes, Batman is gonna do all the pre-planning possible, but Spider-Man has the ability to counteract all of that during a fight.
Spider senses, so he can sense it.
On top of him having
Batman ain't sensing nothing.
Okay,
he's just
and then
reacting.
And then which Spider-Man are we talking about?
Don't matter. All of them.
Batman can also, aside from the jumping around and shit, Batman can also crush his little wrist so he can't do the web shit, and then he really fucked.
How? He not
strong
enough. He not strong enough.
Crush his little wrist.
He made him sound like a stick figure.
Because I think only Toby Spider-Man was the one who it really came out of his wrist. The other ones, it was mechanics.
Oh, okay, no, true. Okay, cool. Okay, point taken, right?
All right.
He's still stronger.
I mean, tumbling everywhere. You know what I'm saying? He's a gymnast. But I'll never see him with these hands.
He's trying to minimize it.
He is, and that's okay.
He gonna jump on the wall and he gonna crawl and shit. He gonna backflip. You know what I mean?
He gonna backflip into a thunder punch right in the Batman face. It's all over. It's all over.
That is hilarious.
Knock that mask off.
So now we got this is my question that I asked in the beginning. I really feel like we have to define is Batman really a superhero?
Ooh.
I know
Vigilante.
it got deep.
Vigilante.
Because what makes someone a superhero? Is it because we're saying super, not just the hero, because people who go to war are heroes. But when we talk about superpowers and abilities, even the super villains, because some of them didn't have powers, they just had riddles, or you know what I'm saying, had gadgets, you know? So like what actually makes someone a superhero or a super villain? Like what makes them super?
So this is kind of a nuanced answer here, because
Yeah.
if we're talking strictly movies, if we're talking strictly film, I'm gonna say no. Like Batman is not a superhero because he has nothing to go up against a real threat. Like, and even in the Justice League, like when he went up against Steppenwolf and even Darkseid, like he was really to the side, like not really doing much.
Yeah.
Like if we,
Hey, that's
if we
one of the
keep it
that's
in
one of the
book,
40 that's one of the 48 laws of power though. What you mean?
yeah. So
Let
what
them do-
I'm
let the
saying,
others do the work
what I'm
for you.
saying is, what I'm saying, right? He has nothing to really stand up to a true super villain. So therefore, there's no way, even in his intellect, if we're talking strictly film. So I don't think Batman should be considered a superhero in that aspect.
I mean, I don't know. When did the term super, putting super in front of it, when did we say that you needed superpowers to be one?
That's what I'm asking. I said, what
One,
makes someone that?
I think he's a superhero based on popularity.
Well, he's like a symbol. He's an icon. He's a symbol of hope. So I think that gives him kind of like the superhero tag. But by the sheer definition, no.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one we kind of give that, okay.
I would give that to like the
He's
Wonder
okay.
Woman, the Superman,
Yeah.
shit like that.
So are we saying it's defined based off of actually having powers?
I think that's where we're leaning towards. I think.
I'll put it
I
like
think
this.
I'll say
Oh,
yes. I'm not gonna lean. We're gonna say yes because
I-
anybody can be a hero, but
But he's a superhero based off popularity though. Like, let's be honest here. What superhero is more popular than Batman?
so popularity
Ever.
makes you super. Because what is the super part?
No,
I mean,
super popular.
that's it.
I mean, if
a lot of people got Drake as the best artist in the world.
God.
I mean,
See, no, we
let's
not,
be-
no,
I mean,
we're
let's
not
be-
doing
I'm
that.
saying, let's be honest here. I'm saying.
so,
I
what
don't
I'm
have
saying
that,
is,
but-
in the movies, if they would have shown that Batman was able to like outthink a really, really strong villain, because I mean we got Poison Ivy, we got Mr. Freeze, Bane, like we have these types of villains, right? But like somebody on level with a Darkseid or a Thanos or even a Steppenwolf, like in the original Justice League movie, if he was able to outthink or think of a strategy to beat them on his own, then we could say that. But he had to resurrect Superman to fight them. So
That was
that was his plan. His plan was to resurrect Superman. So yeah, I don't know.
Thanos went against 30 Avengers.
Okay,
Where was Spider-Man in that?
he was there. What you mean?
Tumbling, rumbling, tumbling.
He had to keep the Infinity. He had to keep the Infinity Gauntlet away.
Technically, it was dusted.
Oh yeah, that too.
That was at random. That don't matter. That don't matter. That was at random.
His powers were helping him rumble and tumble and be a part of keeping the stone from him.
You know where Batman would have been in that thing,
Right?
at the crib,
Right?
calling the shots from his back computer. Goddamn. So if we talking strictly film, I don't think Batman should be labeled as a superhero.
I think
He's
it's
the
interesting.
most popular. How?
That's fine, but we're not talking about popularity.
Okay, so you brought in music. We'll make that
God.
we'll make that analogy.
Because Superman will be defined as a superhero, and no one gives a fuck about Superman.
But he's
Okay,
super.
No matter what his powers are.
Popularity, let's talk musics that are popular, or music artists, rappers, whatever. Can there be popular artists that their music is trash?
Yes.
Okay, so would you say that then they are, we'll say the GOAT, we'll compare it, superhero is equal to the GOAT in music, if they are popular but their music is trash?
I don't know if we can really.
No, you can. I don't think you can say their music is trash and they're the GOAT.
I would say.
But somebody could be popular and their music be trash.
I would say a superhero in hip hop terms would be Jay-Z, right? But then you have somebody like Drake that comes in and blows every record in hip hop out the water with a relative ease, and is still doing it and has been doing it for about a decade and a half now.
And you're saying that's because of popularity and not musical ability?
A lot of it is based off popularity. He's one of the most popular artists in the world, and has been doing so for about a decade and a half now. On top for a decade and a half now. You would have to put.
But he's popular because of the music, though, right?
Mm-hmm. You can't say his music is trash.
Like,
and the reason
a lot of it is
he gained. So he gained his popularity through the music. That's where he gained his popularity. Now, from the point where his popularity was at a point where he didn't need the music anymore, maybe then it became trash. But the reason he became popular is because of the music.
So, with going down that train of thought, so then if we equate that to superheroes, we would say he has some powers and then he became popular. Maybe the powers are decreasing now, but he had some superpowers at some point. It wasn't the popularity that made him have, the GOAT, not the GOAT, but whatever.
Right.
Now let's talk about Batman then. Because what is Batman's, like, if he's popular, I will definitely give you that. They make enough movies to prove that. So yes.
Right.
But he doesn't have any superpowers. And as
he's an anomaly though. There is nothing like him. Drake isn't the best. Drake isn't the best rapper. Drake isn't the best rapper, but millions and millions of people every day quote his lyrics. Not Jay-Z's. His. He's an anomaly.
So Batman is the Drake of superheroes. That's what you.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
That is what you said. Okay.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. I would never.
All right.
He's an anomaly. We can't really coin him for that. I think there are superheroes that got more and better powers than he do, but they're still not
more powers. They have powers because he doesn't have any powers.
Think. Well, the thing with Batman, he just has a more riveting story to tell. That's the catch, right? A lot of these other superheroes are like, yeah, they're guys and blah blah blah, woo woo woo. But Batman is the one that has the layers and the rose gallery that we care about. Like, it's just shit like that. It's just kind of.
I would say he's a vigilante.
I definitely
not a superhero.
Then what is Tony Stark?
Does he have powers?
Well, he got a suit. He got a suit.
So then he's not a superhero either. And I've never said that about Iron Man.
But see,
and that's why I said we have to define what makes someone a superhero.
But see, that's where the nuance comes in, because again, sticking to the movies, Iron Man went toe to toe with Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet and like 4 of the stones. So technically that's a superhero. Batman can't do
or
that
a
shit.
good suit.
But
And
Batman,
you know
man,
I'm Team
he'll build a
Marvel,
suit
but
too.
he had a bomb suit. Without that suit, he wouldn't have had nothing. Just like Batman wouldn't have.
I agree. I agree.
Batman built the suit when he fought Superman. No, nothing. Okay, I thought I'd point that out.
I mean, true. But we don't know how that suit would have stood up against. I keep going back to Steppenwolf and Darkseid because those are the top tier super villains from DC, right? So anybody else, that suit would have killed them. So I'm saying, like, I don't know. We witnessed Tony Stark fight Thanos head up 1-on-1. We seen that on tape. We never seen Batman do nothing like that. In the films.
So what are we saying as a superhero then? Like what actually makes them super then? Because that's what we got to define that.
I guess for me, I'm saying a superhero is somebody that's able to stand toe to toe with a supervillain. Or a villain that's really powerful.
Fuck no.
I like that better than somebody who's popular.
Yeah.
No, I just think that any when you put super in front of something, that means they've been doing great at what they do for a long period of time. When we say superstar in the league, we don't get that to somebody just because they dope at basketball, but it's because they've been doing it for so long.
And that's because they dominate over everybody else.
And that's only like 3. That's only like 3 or 4 players, maybe. So when we say superhero in terms of comic book, after Batman, there is maybe nobody.
Okay.
I
don't know about no. See, I was with you till you went too far.
I'm being honest. The closest thing to being at a high regard as far as Batman, the closest thing may have been Iron Man. It may have been Iron Man, but before the Marvel movies, he was what, D-list, maybe C-list?
Nah, I disagree with that. I think it's Spider-Man. Like, if you're talking about like branding and parallel with Batman, like they'll keep pumping out Spider-Man films, like easily.
Because then that's what I was gonna say is you said longevity, but is it only longevity because they keep remaking Batman movies and like, and that is why I did the lineup with him and Spider-Man, simply because they are the face of we just gonna keep making Spider-Man movies. This nigga gonna be in high school forever. I was in high school when it started. He's still in high school.
How many? I got 2, but how many Spider-Mans do y'all hold in a high regard? Honestly,
2.
You mean like the film?
No, Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
I think that's probably the best one. That's my personal opinion. Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2 with Toby.
Yeah, Toby.
So
that's the one with Doc Ock.
Yeah.
There's been 2 Batmans that people can say is crazy trash. 2 in 30 years.
That's fair.
All the rest of them are classics.
Not classics. Come on.
What Batman outside of Batman Forever and Batman and Robin haven't been classics?
Batman Begins. It's not a classic film to me.
I ain't not.
I like that.
You said, God damn.
That was beautiful.
Just being honest.
I'm not mad at that at all.
like
God damn.
I'm glad I got to be here to see that.
Not a bad movie, but definitely not a classic. Definitely.
I don't. That's the one I don't go rewatch. I give you that. Jesus Christ. Okay, so that's 3. Spider-Man, I got 2 films that he's made. As long as he's been around, there's 2 films of his that I'll say I hold in very, very high regard.
Which ones?
I give you 3.
Okay.
I give you 3. Spider-Man 2. The first Amazing Spider-Man with my man's in it.
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield, and then the first Spider-Man, the new in the Marvel universe.
The one with the Vulture.
Yes.
So I'm going the first two Tobey Spider-Man, Spider-Man 1 and 2.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm skipping the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
That's crazy.
Wow.
And then
Just
I'm going the first two Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. Now, Spider-Man No Way Home, for nostalgic purposes, was really good. Like, to see all three of them together on screen was phenomenal to me. But
was that necessary?
No.
Necessary? No.
No.
It was not necessary. But it was great to see. It was great to see for me.
We didn't need that. Yeah.
But I'm not ranking that as one of the top tier.
Nah.
See, I didn't even include that in what we had going on.
Damn, man. I feel like the Andrew Garfield joints are the most underrated, man. Yeah, that's crazy.
We're not even gonna talk about Amazing Spider-Man 2. We're just not gonna do that. But the first one, I could take it or leave it.
But you know what's interesting is I kind of like that take of, because the Tobey Maguire, that was when it first came out, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that when Andrew came around, I was confused because I didn't realize we were just starting all over.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I could have went without that, if I'm honest.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get back to Tom Holland. There's something about then I was okay with the way they started all over.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess even though at first I was like, wow, that's wow. But I kind of, because I just remember being like, why is he still in high? What are we doing? Like, what is happening? Yeah. And then once I realized what was happening, then I could accept it when Tom Holland came. And he's actually my favorite Spider-Man because I just like his personality.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My only gripe with the Tom Holland Spider-Man is he's never the man. Like even in his films, it's just like he's working for Tony. It's not it's not it doesn't feel like a Spider-Man. It's like Spider-Man is in it, but he's working for Tony.
Yeah.
The other two, he was the man. It was just him.
So that plot line was a casualty of Sony owning the rights. Like, Sony loaned Spider-Man to the MCU in order to make that work. So I think they corrected that with No Way Home. So at the end of No Way Home, like nobody knows Spider-Man or Peter Parker, right?
Yeah.
So now they have the opportunity to make Spider-Man the man with if they do a new trilogy or whatever. So they have the opportunity to do that now with Tom Holland. So I'm hoping that happens, but
so this dude gonna be in high school for
pretty much
the storyline, the three characters in life that the character always matters is gonna be James Bond, Batman, and Spider-Man. And when it comes to Batman and Spider-Man, they can keep going to the same origin story because people are gonna continue to watch it. It's that.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm just saying.
That is a fact.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm just saying, like.
not to go off topic, but is Spider-Man is he still being loaned, or is he in the deal? Is he in that deal, or is he still a loaner?
He's still a loner, but I think they extended the deal. They extended it
because I think they're supposed to do 3 more movies if we keep it
right. Yep. Still within the MCU, but they're still loaning. They're still loaning.
It sounded like Tom was kind of done with it. His statements.
You know how Marvel Studios is. They like, hey, like don't say nothing, my boy.
They got that boy a blank check, man. He getting paid from Disney and Sony. Man, run it up, man.
He said he didn't want to be. He said he didn't want to be Spider-Man at 30.
Well, hey, look, what did Uncharted do?
Nah, word.
But if I'm Sony, I'm Wolverine, Silver Surfer, and Spider-Man are mine. I'm not letting them go. I don't give a fuck what Disney do.
Fox had Silver Surfer and Wolverine. So remember, Wolverine was X-Men. That was Fox.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So
how
Spider-Man
did
Sony.
Marvel get? Because Marvel has X-Men, right?
They do now.
So
they bought Fox.
Ah, okay.
So
because for a while they could only say mutant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They wasn't saying X-Men. They was only saying mutants.
That's why we're getting WandaVisions.
Oh no, they wasn't even saying. They couldn't even say mutants. They've been saying enhanced individuals. Like they couldn't even say mutant. So now that they purchased Fox, they had the first mutant like explanation in Miss Marvel. So
is that a TV show?
It is a TV show.
Oh, all right. Well, whatever. I'm not listening.
I gave two of them a shot. I gave WandaVision and I gave half of Loki, and I was like,
and what makes me mad about Loki is one of my favorite characters in the MCU, and for you to like Wanda, I was just like, oh, okay, because my daughter was watching it, and let's bond. Nah, we not watching it.
That's crazy.
But I sat down by myself to try to watch Loki, and
I'm sorry.
The first and last episodes of Loki were fantastic. Everything in between.
How many episodes was it?
6.
And then you only got
maybe
6.
3.
You couldn't even. I watched like 2 once I got to that, because the first one gave me false sense of hope, and then
it did. That first episode was phenomenal.
Most of the MCU shows do that. Like the first episode be on point.
But see, Agents
except WandaVision.
But see, Agents
that
of
was on point.
Shield
I had to
was.
let that build up.
I loved Agents of Shield until they had that weird. Was it season 5 or? I think it was.
Villain. You remember who the villain was?
Dude, that was a part of them at first.
Agents of Shield was actually on TV, right?
Yeah.
It was on ABC.
What was the dude's name that used to be a part of Agents of Shield, and then he became
Coulson, right? You talking about Coulson? Oh no, you talking about something else?
Not Coulson. He was an agent, right?
Yeah, dark haired dude that was messing with old girl.
I know who you talking
and
about.
I haven't watched it in so long, I can't remember nobody's name, but it was that weird. And then also, you know, the 2 scientists that were together, but he was with somebody else that season 2. So it was like some weird, they're in a alternate universe season that I was not feeling it at all.
Got you.
So, well, guys, as y'all listened, if you have differing opinions, let me know. Tweet at me. This has been the episode that I don't even think we really defined what a superhero is, but that's fine.
I think I did, but y'all wasn't rolling, so I don't know.
It says superhero, noun, Batman.
I mean, I feel you about the whole toe-to-toe with a supervillain.
Mm-hmm.
But what actually is making them super?
Got you.
Because that's my thing is like, when do you define that? Because they're called superheroes right away, and they ain't went toe-to-toe with anybody.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what?
I get what you're saying.
So that's what I'm saying, like, from jump. Because even Spence, your argument is that it's after longevity because they keep remaking Batman movies. No, but for real, you said longevity. Yes, as y'all could tell, I'm very Team Marvel, and that's okay. But you said longevity, but they're called superheroes right away. So I don't know. Without powers, I'm like,
you ain't a superhero if I would walk past you on the street.
You wouldn't walk past Bruce Wayne?
I would do that with most of the Marvel niggas. Walk right past them.
You would do that with most of DC too.
Right.
I'm sure.
Especially when they're Clark Kent. Don't nobody care about him. He barely could get old girl to want to date him.
That's
like Forrest Gump and Jenny, like that.
He did him dirty.
No, we before we get up out of here, I heard y'all two opinion on it. Tamara, the new Black Panther.
I haven't seen it yet. Did
What's
it come
your thoughts
out?
on it?
No, the trailer and everything going on with it.
Oh yeah, we all heard their opinion on their show,
and I loved it.
We talk about this.
I loved it. I almost drew Ralph in, man.
So what exactly? Just the trailer in general, or the fact that T'Challa is dead?
No, like what are your thoughts on it? Just your thoughts and opinion on it coming up.
Yeah. So the trailer definitely had me in my feelings, just because I mean, you know, Chadwick is dead in real life.
Yeah.
There's two sides to it. We're gonna go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room.
Let's hear it.
I understand. No, we'll go here. From a storyline perspective, from a creative perspective, all respect to Chadwick. I loved everything I've seen him in. So y'all please leave me alone, Black Twitter. You know
Get it out.
Don't come for me. But from a creative standpoint and as a writer, right? I don't understand how are they going to justify that Black Panther is dead. Like, to me, had him not dying in real life, I know he wouldn't have been dead. You know what I'm saying? So I just think from a storyline perspective, it will be interesting to see how they justify that. I think y'all, because I think you two are the only ones that I've heard talk about this, where you said maybe in the multiverse, or maybe that was somewhere else, because I'll read the comments, all that underneath it. Somebody somewhere said like maybe in a multiverse, a different T'Challa could come back, because it just doesn't make sense for him to be gone from a storyline perspective, right? But then I also understand from the artist perspective, because he made that role. Yeah. I think so, but clearly you don't agree, and that's fine.
He was a good enough T'Challa to not be recasted.
So there's a nuanced answer here, right?
Here we go.
Look, I like y'all.
But wait,
So,
let me finish.
Go ahead.
So from the honor and the respect standpoint, because I remember like Fast and the Furious, for example, when Paul Walker died.
Exactly.
I remember, first of all, it didn't come out for a long time, you know what I'm saying? And then they did whatever enhancement thing to help, because they were in the middle of filming a movie.
I think it was his brother.
Yeah. And then him and old girl, they referenced them, but we ain't seen them since. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like, for me, at least right now, they could bring a multiverse version, whatever, but I understand why they made that decision from a, I don't know, I guess a human standpoint, from an emotional standpoint, but from a business standpoint and a creative and a writing standpoint, I also don't understand that decision, because how do you and we'll see when we go see the movie, but how do you explain writing out he fought all them people, came back, the strength of the Black Panther is with you. And he did all that, and then he's like, so that's the part that's why I wanted to be very careful, just from the storyline. But because he gave his, and this is why I say he literally gave his all as a human being while he's going through chemo, and then I remember when he was ultimately dying, but we didn't know, and he's super frail online, and people are talking stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like from that standpoint, and as a boss or whatever, you know, producer, director, whatever, you have to care about your team. You have to care about the people that you are stewarding. You know what I'm saying? We'll use Podcast Happy Hour, for example. If something was to happen to one of us, and I think about that from time to time, because I've heard of podcasters passing away randomly. We're not going to bring in, and our stuff, I guess, is a little different because, like, we're friends and all that. We're not going to bring in somebody else just out of respect for us.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you are stewarding something like that, I can understand why as a leader they would have made that decision. And it's just you have to in that thing, both things are true. The storyline don't make sense, but also all that he poured into that. That's why I said he made it. He poured literally his life into it. I understand that decision, but I think both things are true, and it's complex, and people were going to be mad regardless because that's just the way it goes. I'm gonna go see it, of course, but I'm also curious to see how they explain this because we know he's dead because she said my son is whatever, and it's like where did that what like we know he died in real life, but how did T'Challa die after all that? So that's my thoughts.
And I bet you it's just going to be like a real quick. He was in battle somewhere. T'Challa was in battle somewhere and caught a stray or some shit. Like it's gonna be something so simple. They're gonna have a grand funeral for him to pay homage to both T'Challa and Chadwick.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna be the rest of the movie. So we'll see. We'll see. Like, listen, like I said on Oversaturated, I hope because man, I pray that the entire Wakanda Forever movie is not an homage to Chadwick Boseman because there are so many stories that they're going to tell in this movie. Mm-hmm. The Riri Williams story, the T'Challa family story, the Namor story. It's so many stories being told here that taking up the whole movie to honor Chadwick Boseman will take away from what the movie can be. So I just hope that's not what the movie is. That's all.
Ralph, might as well bring it to this platform.
All I got is that the MCU's track record has been very lackluster in this phase. So that made me less optimistic for what Wakanda Forever was. So that's why I was making such a big deal to anybody that's probably listened to the episode of OS about Daniel Kaluuya not being in the film. I was like, hey,
that's a big. You got two big.
All I was saying, we needed all hands on deck acting wise to push this movie. That's all I said.
I disagree.
Why? But why is his character like? How is his? What is the justification for his character being gone and he's still alive? Because like with T'Challa,
that's crazy.
Well, hey, I'm just saying, like T'Challa, I get it. I don't get it from a storyline perspective, but I get it from a human perspective, and I probably would have did the same thing if I was the leader of all that or whatever. Mm-hmm. But Daniel Kaluuya, he did have he's married to girl, he had a pretty significant role.
It was a scheduling conflict. That's why he didn't do the film. But I mean, it could have been a way that he would have been in the film still, but. Honestly,
don't mention the character. He's just he was not he ain't do all that last movie.
Because he did all that, he in jail. He don't need to be in this movie. Now, would it be good to have him in the movie? Of course, 100%. But in his absence, I personally don't think it matters.
I'm just saying, MCU shaky baby.
I'm with Johnny though. I got the same feelings that Johnny do, and he said so much that it would have just been easier to recast and also pay homage to him, in my opinion.
100%.
And it would have made it a little this is not a Fresh Prince situation where you switching out Aunt Viv mid season. You know what I'm saying? He's only did one movie
plus Avengers.
Well, yeah, he was in Infinity War Endgame.
Plus Captain
he was in Civil War. Yeah.
All right, 2.5.
That was a significant thing because that was when his dad died.
That was a plot point. Yeah, that was a plot point.
So you can't make that seem little. You didn't even know who he was at that point.
He's only had one Black Panther movie. And what we have to do sometimes is we got to put our emotions to the side, because as consumers, I'm not walking into that movie theater with my emotions on my sleeve. If I go in there and yeah, they paid homage to him and that's cool and all that shit, but if it's a trash movie, when I walk out of the movie theater, I'm gonna say that shit was trash. I'm not gonna say it was good trash because they
had homage.
they did right. They did it right. Don't say that
Right.
shit. Oh, that shit was trash.
Yeah. I mean, in not recasting T'Challa, I'm assuming they've had to rewrite the whole arc of Black Panther, right?
The
So,
MCU.
But in the MCU, because not only do we have Wakanda Forever, but we have fucking the Kane, like the Kane shit, the Secret Wars. Like, we're going to see whoever the new Black Panther is. We're going to see this Black Panther multiple times in the future. So because of that, because they didn't recast, they've had to rewrite what's really happening. So we're really going to see a new Black Panther origin story for whoever steps in that place, no matter who it is. So
my hope, my honest to God hope, my hope is that they use this film to test the audience and to have some sort of storyline where there is a Black Panther, but it's not T'Challa, which is gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
And then you come back around and then you recast. That's my only hope. Because if you're getting rid of T'Challa, then you're getting rid of a lot of storylines.
Exactly.
A lot.
Exactly.
And that's we was talking about you losing Chadwick and you losing Daniel Kaluuya already. Now to delete a whole bunch of storylines, it ain't looking too good.
Yeah, and not to mention
one film in.
And not to mention rushing whoever the next Black Panther is, which I mean, I think we all think it's Shuri. They could throw a curveball, but we kind of anticipated Shuri becoming Black Panther in the third Black Panther film, but now they got to speed all that up now. So who knows what's gonna happen?
So I'm gonna challenge what you just said with this.
Mm-hmm.
You said, Spence, that it's only been one movie anyway.
Yeah.
So losing storyline, sticking to the movie, because I know there's the comics and all that, but we also know from what I've heard, because I'm not some super comic reader, but at times they've strayed away from the comic book storyline and all that. So is it that big of a deal to lose all that storyline with only one movie?
Yes, and I'm saying this because there's another component that we haven't talked about, and that's the fact that they had so many problems with Shuri's, the person that plays Shuri. I can't think of her name. I'm sorry.
Letitia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had so many problems with her, and I, honest to God, feel like if they still had Daniel Kaluuya and my man's and Chadwick didn't pass away, she wouldn't be in this film. The problems have been that bad. So, like, because
shaky,
because they didn't have them too, they kind of had to like kiss her ass a little bit. So we don't know how many films is she gonna do. I'm surprised she made this one.
Well, it's probably because it was already filming when everything started popping off the way it did. So, because I mean, my thinking is they could do whatever they want, and if they make it make sense, unless they do some whatever we just Doctor Strange 2 stuff where it literally doesn't make sense, but if they write well and make it make sense, and we'll see what they do. But I feel like because it was only one film and it ended in a way where, I mean, it didn't. We knew there was going to be a part 2, but there didn't have to be a part 2.
Yes.
It could have ended the way it ended, and it would have been sufficient. So, from a introduction, body, conclusion standpoint, like with writing,
I love it.
I feel like we'll see, because obviously they've made the choice that they made, but I think because of the way it ended, they really could do whatever they want as long as they write well and make it make sense. The powers that be I need y'all to listen to this part of this episode. We don't want no more. Why is this person popping up? Oh, I didn't watch the TV show, so I don't understand the movie. We don't want that.
Yeah.
Because I ain't watching none of y'all shows. I don't even trust y'all like that.
I feel it.
That's crazy.
You met Loki? How you mess up Loki? Come on now.
I hope they add some more people to this movie, man, because it's missing star power, man. Ain't no star power in it.
Oh my god!
You leaning
now,
on?
I will say I don't agree with that aspect.
You leaning on a 70-year-old Angela Bassett.
You
and my man
and
my man's that was in what was he in? What was that movie my man's was in? The Jordan Peele joint.
The Jordan Peele joint. It's a whole bunch of low spades right now.
So from that standpoint, I disagree because I think it's Marvel, so that in and of itself holds weight.
That's what Marvel movie didn't have no star power in it. They had Robert Downey Jr.
The first Incredible Hulk. Well, Edward Norton, I don't know.
I'm talking about since this universe. What Marvel movie didn't have the star power in it?
Okay, so let's go through Spider-Man.
Don't do that to Paul Rudd. Don't do that to Paul Rudd.
Who was Tobey Maguire before Spider-Man?
No, not those. Not those.
We talk. I mean,
the MCU is a different argument though. Like I actually have to side with Spence on that one.
All right.
This film right here, and it's fucked up because it's the only black one, but it got a lot of problems. They got a lot of problems.
Okay, since you said MCU, all right, I'll okay.
Was Chris Pratt a star before Guardians of the Galaxy?
It's always they had Batista, they had Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper. Like,
nah, you right. Nah, never mind. Shut up. I'm really thinking.
Even Eternals. Like, I mean, it was Salma Hayek. Like,
no, that's big facts.
All right,
Shang-Chi.
I mean, but Angela Bassett, don't make it seem like she's nobody though.
Shang-Chi had the mama from American Me in it. You want to fuck me in my ass?
Whoa! The views expressed.
You don't remember American Me?
Man.
Crazy, man.
Not the views of Tamara.
Dude, you want to fuck me in my ass too?
Tamara, you keep letting me talk. What's going on here?
I don't know. I for a second I thought I was listening to Views. I kind of forgot. I forgot where I was.
Hey, man, with all that being said, just don't bring back Michael B. Jordan.
You got to.
How do you explain that he died?
Star. He's the star, though.
Did he not die?
They resurrect people.
They resurrect people. Killer resurrections.
He's somebody that people care about. They got to.
We don't. Who's the people?
Facts.
What people? Don't nobody care about him.
Jesus.
Not him. I don't know him as a person, but his character. No, we good.
We cool. But again, like I feel like that would have been a plot line for the third movie to bring him back. So even if they do bring him back in the second one, they had to rush to do it, right? So I don't know. But God, I hope they don't do it.
Well, Tupac
I thought they threw him in the river. I know they didn't say bury me in the river with my ancestors for like 50 years for this dude to come back. No. I heard that more than anything else.
That was rough. That was a rough time.
Nah, he need to stay buried with his ancestors so that quote can hold its weight.
Lord have mercy.
All right, well, we are gonna get out of here. Tell them where to find y'all.
Man, I'm the Mind of Rap on Instagram and Twitter, and then Oversaturated the Podcast is on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok.
Twitter is Oversat Podcast. Instagram is Oversat the Podcast. Check out our website, Oversat Podcast.
Now it's funny he knows it now.
Oversatthepod.com.
It'll be in the episode notes.
Yeah, man. So holla at us, man. Holla at us. We drop every Monday.
Back to the tweets, man.
I've been off Twitter so long, man.
You can find me on Twitter at Just Call Me Spence. It's JUS. Call Me Spence, SPENC. At Views from the 7 every Wednesday. So that's it.
Yep. And when do
I
y'all
appreciate
drop?
it. It's
Every
number 2.
Monday?
Oh yeah, OSW every Monday.
Every Monday.
Yep, every Monday, all streaming platforms and YouTube. Holla at us. Subscribe to the YouTube, baby.
Yep. Views goes live on Wednesday, audio on Thursday.
Yup.
Yep. All right, and I guess if y'all came for them and you don't know me,
Damn right.
but I guess you heard that at the beginning. Oh man, thank you so much for tuning in. Follow me on social media, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all that good stuff. The link is in the episode notes. Their stuff will be in the episode notes as well. But also, more importantly, make sure you take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. The holidays are coming up, and that's when people really struggle, especially if it's your first holiday after a loss or even just in general. The holidays are harder. It gets colder, seasonal depression, all that stuff. So do what you got to do to take care of yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in. And when I say the season is ending, I will be back next week. So there's no break. It's just for my own organizational purposes of whatever. But I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for...